court accepts the existence of God every time a witness swears to tell the truth. I think it's about time they accept the existence of the devil.
You okay there?
Jesus. I think I hurt someone.
In 1981, Arnie Johnson pled not guilty.
We think this family was cursed.
By reason of demonic possession.
I am not going before a grand jury and saying he was possessed by demons.
Whatever happened that day, that was not Arnie.
Color me your color, darling. Come off your color chart. I know where you're coming from. Coming from. Coming from. Coming from. I know who you are.
Lorraine! Lorraine! Ed! You all right?
Yeah. Conjuring, the devil made me do it.
What do you make you do?
Butt stuff. We're going to spoil this. If you have HBO Max, you can watch it at home. It's in the theater as well.
Before we spoil it, what are our initial, like, what would you say your star rating out of 5 would be?
Probably 2.5, maybe.
2.5. That sounds about right.
All right.
Well, I have to say, I kind of went in with the idea of the movie because these aren't my favorite. It's not my favorite universe.
Yeah.
So like, I kind of went in expecting not to like it, and I tried to go in with an open mind, but this was not one of their better outings.
Well, it's also the director who did La Llorona,
Yay.
which I also disliked. I can't remember if he did The Nun or not, but
that was not good either, though.
Yeah, I have not been a big, and even going back and watching the first Conjuring movie, even that doesn't really hold up for me necessarily. I do love the idea of these fictionalized versions of Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Yeah, and plus, like, my opinion of this universe is kind of predicated on my opinion of the Warrens.
Right.
Yeah, which is, I mean, they're deceased now, and you're not supposed to speak ill of the dead. However, I mean, they were con artists. Let's get real, right? Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I'm just going to leave it at that. They were con artists, and they were...
So,
but the versions that Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga play,
them.
I do like them. This movie is a lot of them.
Yeah, I think they're the best parts of this movie, just Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga.
Didn't you find getting a whole movie about them? I found Lorraine Warren's kind of smug, very like...
Both of them were kind of very smug. They're like,
she got on my nerves.
It's like just they felt very like, we'll show you. They seem very QAnon-y or something.
That's funny. I had the same thought where I was like, these would be those same types of people now. They would be the QAnon people. And in this,
they know the truth and they will show you what's up. Really,
right? Yeah. So they get wrapped up with this family who has a little boy who's played by the same actor who is Little Luke in
Hill House.
Haunting of Hill House, and he was also in something else recently, and now I can't remember what it was. But he's kind of developed. He's becoming kind of like a horror regular.
Yeah, he's getting some horror cred in there.
Yeah, because he's done horror TV, multiple horror films, and he's adorable.
Very.
He's still just the most adorable little boy.
Mm-hmm.
It's the glasses, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely part of it.
And they made him look very terrifying. Like,
yeah,
the work they did with the stunt version of him and him when they show him possessed and
strong open.
Yeah.
Like I do like the whole segment, and they have nods to other horror films throughout this, in particular Nightmare on Elm Street 3 and then The Exorcist. They recreate that shot where the Exorcist arrives and he's shot getting out of the cab in silhouette.
Yeah, it was a strong opening. I think they should have stuck with that instead of trying to make a bigger story between
well, either way I would have been a little bored.
I think they just tried doing too much with this movie by trying to prove the demons in court.
Well, originally they marketed it as, and people were saying this is going to be like a courtroom drama. Like
it was like Miracle on
Emily Rose.
34th Street or something.
Yeah, and it turns out that's a very small part of the actual movie.
extremely small.
It has more in common with The Nun and La Llorona, where it's basically a big bad and this convoluted route to the big bad. So it turns out, again, this is the spoilery part. There is this priest who left the priesthood. He had a daughter he kept basically hidden away, and he had a vault similar to what the Warrens have with all these cursed objects in it. And the daughter became obsessed with them, and she became this like sorceress, and she curses. And I cannot tell you exactly. It has to do with getting some sort of power from a demon that she can give a soul to this demon if she corrupts three people, a child, right?
A child,
man of God,
and a lover.
Okay,
I think, which I guess was supposed to be the one girl, and then was now. Nope.
Well, because possesses the little boy, and then it passes to the little boy's sister's boyfriend, who Arnie, when he's possessed by it, it causes him to hallucinate that his landlord is this demon, and he kills his landlord.
Right.
So he ends up going on trial for murder, and the defense is that he's possessed.
Devil made me do it.
Yeah. So as part of this, to get at the clues and the resources the Warrens need, they reach out to this police department about a missing person case, and they help solve the missing person case to get more information that they need for this. And it turns out they're connected, of course, and that this witch has just been cursing people with these weird doodads that she puts in their house.
Doodads.
And she even curses Ed Warren.
Gives him a heart attack. Gives him a heart problem.
Yeah.
He's walking around with a cane.
Yeah. He was in a wheelchair for part of it.
They try to ode up the Warrens in this movie.
Yeah.
Which doesn't work because Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga look exactly the same from the movie.
They take care of themselves.
Yeah.
They're just too darn attractive.
Because they try to ode up her look by putting her in these school marm outfits.
You know what though? They always did though.
Yeah, and that
it was the early 80s.
Yeah.
That bun.
She did this, but she's worn that costume in all the movies. Like they bring
like
back
the real life.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's what she really dressed like that. And I do like, there are moments that I like where they created these characters where they're at home, they're different people. Like they become more like, they're like, oh, we're going to make them more relatable. Her hair is literally, she lets her hair down. Like they're more like a regular couple when they show them at home.
You learn about how they met and their love story.
Which they say is an accurate, like that's a story
fine.
that Lorraine Warren told over and over again on different interviews. So I think they even transcribed it, and that's exactly how she told it in real life.
It is a little bit of, I know who the Warrens really were. This version of them, it's not fair. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it bugs me.
Yeah.
It digs at me a little. Like if they could have just been fictionalized versions, like not even called Ed and Lorraine, you know?
It's kind of odd to pay tribute to people who wreaked so much havoc.
I mean, they try to make them all cuddly with their backstory of how they met.
Right.
It was very sweet though.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it works as a romance,
Yeah.
I think. These two, because Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga are so strong as performers.
They get great chemistry together.
And their chemistry is good. So that part works regardless of everything that is in its orbit, which is a lot of like just played out, condescending, like supernatural garbage.
I just don't like how all these movies rely so much on God aspect of it.
That was the other thing that got under my skin. Sorry, I'm a pretty deep atheist. So when you get so deep up your own ass with this religious stuff where you're just, it's like
that's the only way to solve the demon problem.
Well, we're not the audience for
they
this.
pull ideas and solutions out of their butthole that make no sense, and everybody's like, of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
It just seems very in a way insidious the way they're pushing the religion aspect on it.
Well, I
to
don't
me
know.
At least,
yeah, it feels like an agenda in a way, but I almost feel like it's not that as much as it is. These movies are for Christians, I think. And I feel like possession movies in general are most effective with like playing to a Christian audience. Like I worked with someone who was very religious, and she was just terrified of movies about demons and stuff. Like she took it very seriously.
I like these movies when they're well made, like The Exorcist and
Sinister.
Yeah,
that had a demonic.
Although Sinister
story,
didn't even,
right?
It did, but it didn't seem to like. It felt older than that. It didn't. It was like it felt pre-Christian in a way that it was separated enough from reality.
I'd say like Paranormal Activity, where they talk about it being demonic activity, but it's not like super Christian,
right?
Because you're only getting the bad guy's side,
right? And anyway. People don't just come in and it's the Band-Aid of the cross and the holy water fixes everything.
Do you think Vera Farmiga was just like, oh, is this another time in the movie where I stare worriedly?
She's good at it.
And like
I think that's just
hold my hand up with my rosary. I do that again.
That's just her face, though. She has just a worried look all the time on her on her visage.
What's getting you down, Vera?
Yeah. It's like, why does everybody ask me if I'm okay all the time? I'm fine.
She's got resting anxious face.
So throughout their good moments, their strong horror moments, and it's just one of those things that doesn't add up.
I did like the cadaver.
I love that scene in the funeral home.
Like the Meatloaf type character.
He did look just like Meatloaf. I said the same thing. Well, they break into a funeral home so that Lorraine. So George Costanza can identify the missing person. They found the missing person for the police case that they're helping out with, and to confirm it, they go and break into the funeral home at night, which is kind of one of those fun, like what they do with Ed Warren in these movies is he doesn't play by all the rules,
He plays by no rules.
He doesn't take his pills. He breaks glass.
No rules, just right, baby.
And they break in to, so she can lay hands on this body that is well into the bloat stage, so it's unidentifiable.
Yeah, I related hard. I thought...
Are you in the bloat stage right now?
Yes.
I'm also in the bloat
always.
stage.
No, her obvious disgust with touching, I thought that was really a good scene.
Yeah, and they go the Last Jedi route where it turns into a two-way psychic connection between Lorraine Warren and the sorceress who is causing all of this. And it's very much the Kylo Ren Rey scenes from Star Wars.
Yeah.
Where
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, and I'm sure they probably were watching that and were like, what we could do. And so they have this connection.
You're talking about Freddy. Lorraine explained what happened.
Oh, that's right. And they wrote it all down.
And they wrote it all down.
Yeah. I don't know.
What was the connection between them? I forgot. I mean,
it was because the dead girl that she was touching had been cursed
by the sorceress.
Okay. So Lorraine was able to touch her and open a connection. But shit,
it's both ways.
And the girl was the one that stabbed her friend.
Yeah, because she was possessed. So we had 4 possessions in this movie, right? You had the kid. You had the girl who was the dead body in this scene.
Uh-huh.
You had Arnie, the boyfriend,
and
then you had Ed.
Was Ed possessed? Oh yeah, that's right.
So there's 4 of them.
He almost stabbed Lorraine.
And I don't know if I didn't totally add up what was going on at the end, because they're like, she just had to get 3. She got 4, and yet she still wasn't good enough.
I think they had to die.
Yeah.
Right?
All of them had to die?
Or did they all have to...
They had to kill something.
They had to kill somebody.
Yeah. Well, then Ed never did.
He didn't kill anybody, but the little boy didn't either. Our only ones who killed anybody were Arnie and the girl. That's why.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So this was a real case.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah, Arnie Johnson was a real person. He really killed their landlord, and really was convicted of manslaughter. Only served 5 years.
Yeah.
Did they put up the demon defense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the Warrens were involved.
Okay.
But I was just like glancing at Wikipedia just a minute ago, and apparently one of the brothers of David Gletzel came out and said that it was all a bullshit that the Warrens had encouraged them to do and participate in so they could make money.
And this was before Amityville? Do you know?
I'm going to look it up.
So I thought when I first saw trailers for this was going to be...
I thought it was Amityville.
The Amityville movie, because, well, they even teased it in the end of one of the other movies. They're like, there's a case we need to go work in Amityville or upstate New York, one of those things, they said. And then I was like, oh, okay, they're going to do the Amityville movie. And they never did. Not yet, at least.
I'm sure it's down the pipeline somewhere.
When was Amityville?
When the actual crime? It's in the 70s
or something.
So this happened in 81.
Okay, so they've in that case, this isn't the first time they tried to mount this defense, because they tried this with Ronald DeFeo.
The Warrens?
The Warrens were involved in that too. If you just Google,
I don't know, baby.
The Warrens and Ronald DeFeo. So I feel like, you know, there's just so much convenience in the storytelling that comes out of this whole era of supernatural investigators and, you know, charlatans and hacks and rip-off artists.
Oh, it's just like the audience is. I don't want to be like they're not going after horror fans, but it's very mainstreamy.
Oh yeah, again, it's for like the religious horror crowd, I think, or people who just aren't really like you know.
But I just wonder how like hardcore horror fans view these movies. Is this held up as like a big?
It's a huge, it's a huge success. These movies have a following. There's a reason they keep making them, and there's that intersection of, you know, people are just fans of the horror genre, but then there's this big part of that group that are also believers in the supernatural, and I think that's who these movies appeal to the most. But did you find that, Amy?
No, I couldn't find that.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Because I feel like they had something to do with it.
I'm sure they sniffed out some money.
So I don't know, man. I would rather see a movie about the reality of what goes into creating these hoaxes. I think that would have been a really fun thing to do. And I don't know if that would be, I guess that would be dishonoring the memory of the people who were the hoaxsters, but like at the same time, I would like to see what the truth was played out.
You'll never know.
Right.
This movie tells you that it was a demon. Done. Stop asking.
Yeah, but it was almost 2 hours long, and it felt 2 hours long.
Yeah.
It's too many possessions. 4 or 5. You need one. That's all you need.
One possession. Your desert island possession.
What would you possess if you're alone on a desert island?
A little boy.
Somebody not
for the toys.
Abandoned on a desert island.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was alright.
Yeah, it was just I feel like you have to be a fan of the series to even make it worth watching.
Especially because with all the backstory of how they met and their romance, it's just too much. They try to cram in this movie.
Yeah. Yep. Although throughout good performances, regardless of that, good visual effects.
Has Vera Farmiga ever been a horror hound? I know Patrick Wilson has.
Right. I don't think so.
I think she had to cancel for work.
That'd be a great photo op, I think. Just them two together.
Oh, yeah.
Dressed up as the Warrens. Yeah. And we could come in with different cursed stuff like, this is my cursed coffee mug. Belonged to the devil.
All right.
These are my cursed underwear. I shit in them every time I wear them.
Stop wearing them.
Ooh, I can smell them. It smells evil.
Stop wearing them.
Yeah. They're going to tease that one. Like, we're headed to Cincinnati to look into the smelly, dirty underwear case.
It's ironic that they're cursed because they're so holy.
Yeah.
That's right there. That was a surgical strike.
You did
No civilians were killed by that joke.
They're not cursed when you first buy them because they're
Right.
they are cursed when you first buy them because they're unholy.
All right, take it back.
Oh, okay.
I went too far.
You did. Well,
flew too close to the sun.
Yep.
On wings of underwear.
On the wings of underwear. Okay.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Not a recommend for me.
Unless you already have HBO Max and you're not doing anything else.
It's like I don't understand. Like people saw this in the theater. I guess they're just aching just to go back
dying
to the
to get
theater.
out.
But
I would have. I mean, like, honestly, like, I've seen all. Have I seen every Conjuring movie in the theater? I think I have. Even the ones I hated. And I still I mean, they make another one. I'm wrong. I'm just like brainlessly going. And
these movies are good for horror because, I need horror movie that makes my needs, you can make more horror movies and that's always good. But just this universe does nothing for me.
Yeah.
Like the movies, they're not the sum of its parts. That's what I'm trying to say. Like
correct.
Each movie, I can pick out certain things that are really well made, but for the overall, it just doesn't.
Right. And they also give you these characters like the priest character who was in all the other movies too.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
Remember that?
Like you wouldn't know that because they've done nothing to develop that character.
Well, then I was like, who's this young guy that's like their assistant helping them out? Where did this kid come
Well,
from?
they always had some kind of assistance throughout the series.
They didn't even give him a name. I never heard him call his name.
Are they like setting up the next generation of Warren?
I don't know. They did it in Insidious too, where Lin Shaye's character had apprentices. So I don't know. There's just
I can't wait till they've tapped out the Warren universe and they can start creating the Zach Bagans PR rehabilitation universe where Zach Bagans is out there saving lives, but he's played by Dane Cook or something
with cross eyes.
Yeah.
Does Zach Bagans have cross eyes?
Because of a demon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the demon in the demon house crossed his eyes, so now he has to wear prism glasses.
Yeah.
Well, he just toss him down a well and he'll be fine.
Yeah. He needs to be uncursed, like touch a unicorn or something. I heard that'll clear it up.
No, you got to destroy the altar.
That too.
All right. Are we done here?
Yeah, why not? We're done.